Hey everyone, my name is Peyton, and in this video I'm going to show you how to add some water to your scenes. I will be using Unreal Engine's plugin, the water plugin that they have that actually comes with the engine. This isn't anything that you have to get off the marketplace or anything like that. It comes with, you just have to enable it. It's still considered experimental, but it's been out for a couple of years, so it's pretty robust if we're considering all things with like the experimental sort of stuff with plugins. And I would say, yeah, for like personal projects or so, it works quite well for that. And just want to kind of run through how to add a water to our scene. So yeah, I have this environment here. As you can see, I kind of have a sort of river mapped out for it. And we want to basically add some water here. Just had like a simple block out before. But first thing we need to do is go up to the edit and go to plugins, and we're going to search for water, and you will see water experimental. We need to make sure that this is checkbox on. You don't necessarily need the water extras. That one has some other like additional features and everything as well, but the one that we mainly want right now is just the top water experimental. But yeah, checkbox that on. You are going to have to restart your engine. And so just go ahead, restart your engine. And then what we need to do next is once we restarted, you should be able to now go to your place actors window, and you'll be able to type in water. And when you type in water, you'll actually get a lot of water features now. These weren't previously showing up most likely. And these are the things that we can actually add to our scenes, which is super cool. A couple of things to note with these are some of these features actually work quite well with landscapes as well, which this is specifically a landscape ground. If you aren't using landscape, but you still want to have water or something in your space, you could also just use a simple like water body custom, which if I drag that in, you'll see it's just a simple plane, but I could easily just like stretch this out basically and have a water filling into my space already. Works really nice if you are just using like static meshes or something. But yeah, if you do want it to also carve into the landscape and have a little bit more of the control with that, I would recommend having a landscape and using some of these other features. So for this, as I said, I'm kind of going for like a river slash stream, nothing too wide or so for this space, but something that, yeah, just can kind of run through here. So I am going to actually use the water body river and the river feature. So I'll drag that in, and you'll see that it's going to start to edit my actual landscape, which we'll kind of adjust in a second as well. But it is a spline. So if I toggle with G, you'll see that it has a spline that's kind of wrapping throughout. I'm going to just go ahead and rotate this around, kind of place it up here where I was sort of intending for a waterfall to be, and place it there. One thing that you can do if need be, and I'll kind of go into these settings in a second, but if you don't want it to actually edit the landscape as well, we can turn that off. But just kind of slightly aligning it to my initial location at the moment, and then I'll of course adjust it further. So as I said, it is a spline, so I can grab these spline points right here and actually move these. So I could bring this in. You can also just actually scale it like that, kind of control the softness of your curves and everything as well. And yeah, just kind of get it set up to how you like for your stream that you're imagining. I'm going to bring this one also back here. That way we get just a rough idea of where this stream sort of going. So not too bad. There we go. Of course, one thing, it's definitely flooding, so we need to fix that. Then also I'm probably going to play with the color. Color's a little bit too almost like either natural spring or like tropical with that. So yeah, basically going to kind of drop that down next. But one thing I really want to run through real quick too is now we have this in our outliner. We can select it and go into our details, of course, and this is where you're going to find a lot of the initial features that you can kind of work with for this. So there is a variety of sections. You have your water section, advanced terrain, there's lighting, etc. Kind of going down. You'll find the materials much further down as well. We can start up here with the water section, and you'll see that there's the channel edge offset, channel depth, curve ramp width. This is where we can actually control some of that sort of like the fall off, the width of it and everything like that as well, and just constrain it a bit more to kind of the space that we're imagining. So as you see, just playing around with the ramp width, I brought it up a bit, and it was already starting to kind of tailor to the shape that I already had sort of laid out. So that's not doing too bad there. I could continue to work on that, but I'll of course probably need to do some other placement adjustments as well. But yeah, I can just kind of crank this out and figure out yeah, where I kind of like it. One thing too, if you want to kind of see what it looked like beforehand, if you had done some sculpting already in your landscape, there is the effects landscape toggle. I could turn that off and not even worry about like how it's affecting the landscape or anything like that, and then just basically actually like place this and then sculpt it in the landscape as well, which is also not a bad alternative to you know, figuring out kind of how you want to place things out. Really depends on if you want to control it more with the river tool or with the landscape tool, which for my purpose I might even run more along the lines with this, but yeah, just wanted to show that real quick. And then going down, like I said, there's some other features as well that we can kind of toggle on and off. Nothing gonna show in there. Did want to, okay, yeah, and then there's the right here underneath your actual pivots, and or the points at least, sorry, this is where you can add additional points if need be to your splines. So you can always go and just continue to add to it. Also makes it pretty easy if you just hold Alt and then drag, you can just drag out an additional point that way. That's another kind of easy way to work with that. But with this as well, you know, jumping back over to our main sort of setup here, we can play around with the depth also. There's some other features and everything, but yeah, mainly now what I want to focus on, I'm going to turn this off. Let's say we're kind of liking what's going on here, and let's get some color adjustments going on. So I think right now, yeah, definitely just the blue is really strong, kind of distracting, trying to get something a little bit more along the lines of what I might imagine in this sort of environment. So I'm gonna go down here, and we should be able to find our rendering section, and this is where you'll find your different transitions. So if we did add something else like a lake or a ocean, any other of the body of waters, they'll actually connect seamlessly to each other, which is pretty nice. I of course need to turn on the kind of enable or the landscape effect with this as well, but they'll seamlessly sort of connect, which is super nice. But that's what you'll notice right here when we're actually editing this. You'll find the materials down here. There are some where it says river to ocean transition, river to lake transition. You can edit those values. But with the water material itself right here, this is where we can play around with our color as well, or at least how I like to sort of play with it. So of course this is a material instance. We already have a lot of these values set up that you can play with. But what I'm just going to start off with is going to the global vector parameter values, and there's absorption and scattering. And so I can turn this on and I can play around with the sort of value here, which is pretty nice. And this is just mainly going to be your sort of color. But one thing to note of this as well is the value here has a 350 right there. And what we can do is actually, if we lower that, it's going to lessen the absorption. And so let's drop this down, and you'll notice it basically gets a bit thicker with the color. And yeah, it's just starting to have a better read. It's gonna overall kind of like come through a bit better, but let's go ahead and make it slightly brown, maybe not too much. And basically let's do, could probably bring this down even slightly further. Don't want it to be like too nasty looking, at least with the color itself. Not too bad. So yeah, let's say we kind of like that, can hit OK. And one thing you'll notice is it's still pretty clear water. There's not really any like murkiness to it. And what I like to use for this as well is the scattering right underneath the absorption. I can toggle that on for scattering, and then you'll see here nothing really changing, but if I change this value of 1 up to like 5, it's going to start basically getting a little bit thicker. I can bump this up even further, and now at a 20 we're getting a pretty strong absorption value. And yeah, you can play around with some of the or the scattering value at least, but you can play around with the color as well with this one. And basically you'll have to, of course, sort of like tune it back and forth with what you're sort of wanting to go for your water. But this is where I would initially start the setup of, yeah, just getting a more refined water for my space. So then with that, can hit OK. There's other things in here, of course, like playing with your normal and your actual roughness as well. Going down here, you'll see some other sort of like refraction values, everything like that. So yeah, just playing around with these. Honestly, it just takes time going through and just playing with the value itself, kind of understanding what it's tweaking and editing within the material. But I find them to be pretty useful with sort of getting your initial look set up. So with that already, we, you know, have a water sort of like flowing through our space, which is kind of nice. Now what we can do next is we can go over here, and if we want to change the actual speed of some of the water, sort of like the movement speed and everything like that, you can either set in the actual material sort of like a overall max velocity, and that's going to be just like kind of consistent throughout the whole material. Or one other thing you can do is you can actually click on these individual spline points right here. So like, let's say this middle one here, we wanted the water speed to be a little bit different. I can then scroll up here and you'll see going underneath the water tab as well, we'll have some different values like depth, river width, velocity. So you can even adjust sort of like the width as it's going like downward or so. Have wider areas, like kind of like shallower area or narrow areas of your river and everything, but you'll find the velocity as well. So let's say that this area right here, I wanted to maybe drop it down, gets a little bit slower here. Let's say up here, maybe it's like much faster. So what you'll see is kind of the water speed, and then it slows down a bit right here. And then let's say that down here, which we can't see fully, I can pull it up a little bit, but let's do like 500 so you can really see. So basically we have like somewhat like decent movement right there, a little bit slower kind of hitting this bend, and then fast paced, maybe it's going down a hill or something. So it's a really awesome way to just get more sort of like control with your shader as well. I messed up slightly. There we go. Cool. But yeah, so you can actually get your overall speed of your water adjusted throughout the different space. So yeah, that's basically like kind of the main idea of like just an initial water setup in here. Of course, like these are a lot more complex. You can add buoyancy with like different actual objects and stuff floating in there. There's a couple of other just actual like water tools as well. Whether you're making, it really depends on like what your use case is for the water. and like, yeah, how you're sort of using it overall. But with this, I really wanted to just show like, okay, you have a scene, you're wanting to add in some water, get some speed, movement with it, get like a decent read with the sort of like reflections and everything as well. And yeah, kind of have it set up for your scene. So now what I would do next, of course, is actually sort of go in, do some more material blending, get some actual prototypes and stuff that just really help support the water's edge, the river overall, some river rock, everything like that a bit more. And that's just really going to help just take the scene over the top. And then additionally, I'd probably do some particles or so to get some, maybe some waterfalls in certain areas. And yeah, just kind of push it to that next stage. But yeah, this is sort of a first initial pass of getting a water into your scene, adding the water plugin to your project. And yeah, hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, of course, as always, feel free to drop it down below. Make sure to subscribe for future videos like this as well. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. All right.